State governors under the aegis of the Nigeria Governors Forum met in Abuja on Wednesday ahead of their meeting with President Bola Tinubu on Thursday. Now, according to reports, the meeting was called to review the ongoing debates over the proposed new national minimum wage embarked on by the Tripartite Committee on the National Minimum Wage. And it was also gathered that the outcome of the meeting will be presented to the President at an enlarged meeting with the National Economic Council to be attended by the President for the first time. We're going to have that meeting. I think that meeting will be holding today, where we'll actually have the President in attendance, because it's very important for the matters to be discussed are very important. So the President really needs to be there. But then the governors actually held their own meeting. So they'll table their discussion, the results of the discussion, in the larger meeting where the President will be available. It's the matter of minimum wage, the matter of local government autonomy, and other critical issues going on in Nigeria. With all these issues, when we talk about issues going on in Nigeria, you definitely mention these topics now. So if all those meetings are being held, especially with the President, do you see us coming out of these issues?
Well, should the governors even hold a meeting on the issue of local government autonomy? The answer is no. The local government is the third tiers of government by law. So why is it always difficult for state governors to allow that local government autonomy? It's simply because of political greed. But if it is for the welfare of the local indigents, I don't think there is anything to begin to meet or imagine they are talking about autonomy of the state. If they now say that, okay, states should no longer be autonomous, right? They should reduce or remove the autonomy of the state. Will the governors be happy? Knowing that the state is a tier of government, right? The same thing is applicable to the local government. So don't be wasting our resources over issues that are lawful and beneficiary to the people. Now, number two, on the issue of a minimum wage. Well, I think it's about the issue of the governors coming into agreement on what is possible. But you will agree with me, even the last minimum wage, there are some states that paid, some have refused to pay up till date. So I don't even think that investing our money in going to discuss minimum wage is going to be very fruitful. But let us assume that these are new set of governors with new breed, without much greed. So let us agree that they are meeting, yesterday, rather, we're going to yield a uniform minimum wage agreement.
All right, Dr. John.
Well, on the issue of local government autonomy, that's a constitutional issue. It is stated that the local government is the third tier of government. As a result, when during FAC, monies are supposed to be paid directly to local government chairman. But we now have a situation where we have JAC, the Joint Account Committee, and so on, where monies meant for local governments are paid into a joint account where the states have a preponderant control of such monies. Thereby, in some states, you see the local governments existing as just mere appendages of the states, of the state government. So I think there is already a matter in court. The Supreme Court should decisively state that from today on, from now henceforth, the local government should be autonomous. So again, the Supreme Court should go further to state that any monies going to the 774 local governments should never be tampered with by the state government. That is number one.
Okay.
The second one is on the minimum wage. Of course, you know that there are some states that can hardly pay, what labor is demanding for. As for the Niger Delta states, the 6 states in the oil producing region, if our leaders are true to themselves, even if they say the minimum wage is 150,000 naira, they should be able to pay, or even less, slightly less than that. But there are some states in far-flung north and other parts of the country where, if you look at their FAC allocation, it's usually very small. So the federal government should be able to cushion the effect. Remember, as at 2014, when the economy went so bad, the federal government even borrowed money and gave palliatives. You know, they call them bailout. So many state governments could not pay salaries, so they gave them some money as a bailout fund. So that meeting is very, very crucial, because much as some states can pay, other states may not have that financial capacity to meet such salary obligations. So I expect the government to say, okay, for the states that cannot pay, this is what we can do for you. This is what, so it is a matter of priority. The essence of development, the modern concept of development is all about the human beings, not road, not other infrastructure. So if the human beings are well catered for, if the welfare of the average worker is prioritized, better for that state. It will improve the productivity of the state, it will make the civil service to be vibrant and so on. But that said, there are state variations. There are some states that may not be able to pay. So I expect the federal government to moderate the meeting, and I expect all the state governors and the federal government to agree on what they can reasonably pay without hurting other sectors of the economy.
I think on that regard,
Quickly.
The minimum wage is a law. And there may be no law for Niger Delta states and all of that. But I think the issue of workers' welfare, it should be a thing of morality. It should be something that should be done with compassion. So I believe that it's not just about going to meet the president and the Economic Council on the issue of if they are able to pay or not. I think it's a call on trying to devise other, revenue generations in the different states, so that you can alleviate the poor living standard of the people generally. So I think this is what the state governor should be meeting at. How do we, create alternative revenues, not pressuring citizens already? Because the only areas where some governors think is how to tax people, how to collect from them, not on how to create more business ventures to alleviate, their economic livelihood. So I think governors should meet. If the Lagos State has an idea, the governor of Bayelsa has an idea, the governor of Zamfara has an idea on how to generate revenues, not necessarily pressuring citizens on ideas on business investment. I think they should discuss all of that too.
Can I say just a word?
30 seconds.
In Bayelsa State, the governor is, we have assessed everything. I think the governor is doing very well. Although the IGR component of the state is low, but I was very happy to see that in the last transparency briefing, the governor said, look, we are keeping about 81 billion naira in the coffers. That means that there is some level of transparency and accountability. I don't know how many governors can do that. So Governor Doediri should be commended on the score that he was able to declare that we have 81 billion naira left, which will be distributed to, which will be tied to projects. So it means that the state government is doing well.
Okay.
That is my perspective.
Thank you.